Keeping up with the markets is a full-time job right now. I mean, not only is a farmer now a mechanic, a logistics coordinator, an accountant, chemistry, they understand chemical and chemistry. Now they've got to be a market analyst, and they've got to predict things that are going to happen in the future in the very uncertain markets.
Have a great day. Bye.
Perfect.
3 days, thousands of people, endless stories to be shared. Welcome to the Farm Show. A look behind the scenes and the stories from Ag in Motion, Western Canada's largest outdoor farm show. The Ag in Motion Farm Show is a place for farmers to gather, to hear insights and options from experts in times of volatile markets.
At Ag in Motion, we see farmers coming to learn, but also to be less alone in their business decisions.
The big question on farmers' minds is whether to store or sell their crop this fall. And someone will have more than one option when they win a bin at the show. The question of whether to store or sell comes into sharp focus at this year's Ag in Motion.
You were talking about the grain in the bin, and I was actually wondering, you have these labor disruptions at the ports and at the railways, and man, I guess just having a grain handling system you can count on is almost a bit of insurance, against that kind of disruption, eh?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And again, when there's low commodity prices, do you want to be all the grain handlers, everybody that's in the commodity game understands that at harvest, there's going to be a lot of volume of crop available.
Yeah.
Well, it's supply and demand. Lots of supply, you're likely not giving a high price for that.
Yeah.
Right? So holding it until supply gets constrained, then all of a sudden the demand is driven by the commodity sellers, right? Prices go up and you have an opportunity to make more money.
Paul Brisebois is the Senior Vice President of AGI's North American Farm Business and is showcasing the permanent structure his company built on site at Ag in Motion.
We've made a significant investment in terms of the infrastructure in this show. And the benefit of that is it's right off the Highway 16. We can hear the trucks going by right now. We have massive bins that are here, a dryer set up, a permanent handling system. So that stays here all year long, right? Which is great from a marketing perspective and branding. And quite honestly, when farmers look at a permanent handling system, it's no different than you or I looking at a dream home.
Based on the crop performance and the market signals, choosing to store grain or sell it is a big conversation here at the show. Ed Brzezinski is the lead grain marketing analyst with Cargill and a regular at Ag in Motion.
I've been here probably 8 of the last 9 years that I've been with Cargill. Ag in Motion, I believe it's the biggest farm show in Western Canada, and it's the best opportunity to connect with farmers, as many farmers as possible, on a one-on-one level, and really hear about what matters to them face to face, right? We can hear what we think matters, we can speculate about what matters to farmers, but there's no better place to do it than at Ag in Motion, where you can ask them directly. We think of the noisy marketing environment that we're in right now, and we think about all the decisions that farmers have to make on a day-to-day basis, and an advisor helps put those into smaller, impactful decisions that help bring the farmers into profitability and help to basically help them get the lifestyle that they want.
Jerry Clausen is a marketing analyst who writes for the Western Producer, and it's his first time at Ag in Motion.
Well, yesterday I was actually overwhelmed. I was just really overwhelmed meeting the people. There's a lot of interest, and it's large scale, and I think that's representative of Saskatchewan. It's large size, right? So I think it's a real it was an eye-opener. I mean, there's a lot of young people here, and there's a lot of young people. We had the Junior Cattle Show yesterday, so very well attended. And so young people, they have a lot of questions. The mind is flexible, their minds are open. You know, should I say even sometimes like myself, or I'm guilty of it, or my parents for sure, at this age, everyone has a closed mind. It kind of closes slowly over time, right? We've been doing it this way for so many years, and now the young people are coming up on the farm and they're saying, we have to do things differently because the markets are different, things are changing.
Even though the farm show is in Saskatchewan, all farmers are impacted by global markets.
Farmers are in tune with the global complexity. So it's not lost on farmers with regards to tariffs and the impact of tariffs. And obviously that's a hot topic right now. It has an impact on their commodity prices. It has an impact on their input prices. And it's a pretty simple equation. If your input prices are high and your commodity prices are low, you're not making a lot of money, you're not spending a lot of money. So it impacts manufacturers like us and others in the industry.
So if some farmers aren't in a position to buy, what are the exhibits and demonstrations focused on?
We love to highlight the innovations that we have at these shows. So it's a great opportunity. We have dealers here where we do dealer training on the new products that we're introducing. We have farmers come through later, and we have a great opportunity to talk about all the innovations we're making. And you know, one of the questions that I had yesterday is, what can you innovate with an auger? Like, what's left, right? It just has to move grain. And it's like, wow, we're innovating all the time. And we've taken it really to the next level of innovation where we're going to an e-auger or smart auger, right? So it's fully electric. We have a ton of different options, automation options, a lot of safety options that will drive efficiency, safety on the farm, and I think are really exciting. We don't know if we're going to sell that many of them because it's going to be a high price. That's just the reality. But what it does is it just drives the mindset of innovation for our organization, which allows us to do innovation on a whole bunch of other things.
Storage creates opportunities for farmers, and at this year's show, there's the opportunity for farmers to win a bin to take home to the farm.
We're giving away the bin. Looking forward to this moment. It's been 7 months in the making of reminding all of you to make sure you text in and qualify to make sure that you win this thing.
So we're doing a reverse draw situation. If you hear your name, you're eliminated, but you get to have some fun and you get to come up and draw the next name.
30 contestants have traveled to Ag in Motion for the final chance at winning the bin. Down the road, Ed Broshinsky is having conversations about other options, including cash and carry markets and opening up new biofuel markets for Canadian farmers.
Storage is a valuable tool. Canadian farmers have some of the most storage in the world, plenty more than even our American cousins to the south of the border, and that allows farmers to have options. And like I said, options are what matters in this market, right? Giving farmers the ability to store grain or sell grain. You have to learn how to use those options to your advantage though, right? Storing grain forever is not necessarily a great option, but looking at a market, looking at, is there opportunities to capture carry, a storage premium in the market that I can have the market pay to store grain in the bin? That's really what I see when I see bins is, I hope that, you know, that's part of the plan, right? I hope they have a plan for managing that storage effectively. How do we capture the carry in the market to pay for that storage? Because a lot of farmers have decided they're going to store the cereals. How do we make sure that we capture that value that the market's offering today so that we don't give that up in a market with cereals that's really close to break even, right? That's about as good as we can hope for this year.
Using the markets to help pay for storage is an option. But for one family at the show, a win will give them another.
All right, we're just going to double check how many balls we have left. There's 10 left.
But with only one winner, Western Canadian farmers need more options than contests. There are new markets opening up that can create more wins for more farmers.
The first practical thing is basically giving the farmer the option to where to deliver his grain and how to deliver it and when to deliver it, as many options as possible, right? That's what we want to be able to do, is make sure that the farmer at any given moment has a liquid market in order to market his crop, right? And then from there, maybe what kind of enhancements can you bring on to that marketing journey, you could say, right? Is there ability to say, deliver the grain and stay in the market? Is there an ability to get paid, but also stay in the market, for instance, right? Is there ability to put a floor price in to make sure that you're profitable, but also, you know, capture any upside that might come from any of these opportunities? So those are the kinds of things that, as a marketing consultant, I do best, and my team does best. There's going to be opportunity within the volatility, right? And we see probably going forward that the more options that farmers have, right? Whether it's through the Power Canola program, whether it's going to the food at the Clavette crush plant or going to fuel at the new Regina crush plant that Cargill's opening, whether it's going to export for fuel in Europe or for food in China, we've got 5 options right there. And that has allowed the canola market to mature from a market that was once very much specific to only one buyer, now to a market that farmers have a whole menu, a whole host of options to allow them to market effectively and really to bring the lifestyle that they want to their families.
From canola to grassland, the conversations about markets here at Ag in Motion are as wide-ranging as the farmers who attend the show.
Canola is a big crop, wheat's a big crop, but the largest crop in Western Canada is grassland, right? And alfalfa and grasses, right? So that's the largest crop, and cattle is the 3rd largest farm receipts apparently in some years. So it's very important. So in the post-COVID environment, we've seen that transition, but now I think the industry is in a position where we had that liquidation. Now we have pretty good conditions, and I think the producers that went through that, prior to that, they went through BSC and all this, they're hardcore. They say, oh, we're liquidating our whole herd. Yeah, but the people that are left are there for generational ranches and generational cattle producers. And so just like a family farm with grains and stuff is carried on. But if you're in a lot of these areas where there are grassland, there's no alternative crop. They have to have cattle, and that's where it's should I say, an enthusiastic crowd now, because they've weathered the storm, so they're enjoying this. They've put in their time, should we say.
Contestant number 3 gets to try.
And now, our final contestants attempt to unlock the bin to win.
Stop the key. Shoot,
Contestant number 4 gets to try.
All right. Want me to hold it for you?
Yeah.
This up, yeah.
All right.
Second one.
Contestant number
Yeah, we'll take
5.
that.
1, 2.
Okay. Here we go. Take a look underneath. Yeah, so I was wondering.
Maybe can I keep that one? I might have.
It works. We'll try it.
Open.
Freshland
cattle.
Woo! Congratulations!
The most enthusiastic attendees at Ag in Motion this year could be the Renus family, the winners of the Great Bin Giveaway.
Through GX94 in Yorkton, just texting every week religiously, and hoping that one day we got drawn, and we were lucky enough to get drawn. You know what, like I said, we came obviously for this, which is very exciting to come and be in the bin giveaway, and it will come in very handy on our farms. We're Westside Land and Cattle. We farm just west of the city of Yorkton. We're about a 6,000 acre grain and cattle mixed operation. Well, we like to come to Ag in Motion because it's nice to come here and see all of the different booths and everyone that we're affiliated with throughout the year. Sometimes the year gets busy, and during seeding and harvest and whatnot, I mean, things are tough and tight to get around and whatnot. So it's nice to come to Ag in Motion and see all of the implement dealers and the seed dealers and input dealers and everybody that we deal with throughout the year. It's nice to see, we've talked to a bunch of other farmers that we know from the area and other people that we've connected with throughout the years and whatnot. So it's nice to see those people as well and see how everybody's doing and if they're getting enough rain and how the crops are looking and getting ready for harvest and all those important things. Nice to see results at the end of the day when you've, planted a crop or looked after cattle or whatnot. And yeah, so it's good. It's a great way of life. It's a respectable way of life and feeding the world, and that's one of the most important things.
With all the challenges farmers face in feeding the world, the Western Producer Markets Desk analysts host One Beer Market Updates at Ag in Motion. In the time it takes the audience to enjoy one beer, they share insights on the grain, livestock, and global markets that impact farmers' options to market their crops.
We've had a packed crowd. They even had to knock our publisher out of the tent because he had to give up his seat. So it's worked well. No, it's been a diverse crowd, and we've had a few questions. Unfortunately, most farmers don't like to ask questions directly. They wait till afterwards and then they put you in the corner and you're talking for the next half hour. Questions ranging from what are the prospects for pea markets in the upcoming year? My pea crop's looking good, and I'd like to figure out if I should hold it or just get rid of it right away. All the way to what should I do with my canola? I still have old crop canola left to sell. So there's quite a wide range there. We can talk about solutions for them. I think the problem for a lot of farmers is the current prices are not very appealing to them on the cash price level, at least anyway. And our message has been basically, if you see a rally come, probably sell, especially old crop, because pricing opportunities may come in the future, but there's a lot of risk in holding that position right now.
And farm shows are like growing seasons. There's always next year.
I did get to go over and see the One Beer update. I didn't get into it, but I watched it from outside, and the chairs were packed. I thought Bruce and Ranulph had a nice crowd. They had some good questions. I'm actually going to recommend that we make that bigger next year, and that we should think on highlighting it even more. Well, I've been in this agriculture business in Saskatchewan for over 20 years, and I have found that Jerry Clausen is the most accurate economist at predicting the future that I've ever met. He understands our industry, he understands the economy, all the different things that play into what's coming down the road. And having Jerry here meant that our customers can go and get the very best information, in my opinion, that they can leave here with just a little bit more knowledge. And again, that's part of the importance of this show, sharing knowledge. And when we can provide the very best, I'm pretty excited to be part of that.
There's something special about being at a farm show. You can talk about your farm options and even sit down and have a beer to talk about what to do in hard times. You can be optimistic about what the future has in store.
Those conversations that are happening right now are really that, hey, I love the innovation, I love what you're coming out with. Probably not buying today, but I'll be back buying in the future, right? And maybe I'll be fixing my auger, what do I got to do from a parts perspective to keep it going? What do I got to do for my conveyor to keep it going? So we have a lot of those conversations going on with regards to the environment that we're in today. But I'm always, optimistic because of the optimism of a farmer.
Being at Ag in Motion allows me to really talk about what matters to farmers one-on-one, right? And kind of see it in their eyes, see it in their expression. And what I see is farmers, yeah, we've been through some tough times, but they're still looking forward, right? They're still hardworking and willing to put in the work and effort to make a better life for themselves and for their families. And that's what makes me optimistic, is there's no getting these guys down, right? There's a lot of work ethic here, and we've been through a lot of hard times, and hard times make good times too.